advanced registration is required on the Jaguars training camp page. For all practices at the Miller Electric Center, parking lots open at 7 a.m., gates open at 7:45, and practice is expected to start at 8:30. Open practice dates include July 23rd through the 29th, with an exclusive season ticket holder day the 25th. Then we'll finish up August 3rd and 5th. The scrimmage will be held on August 1st at 7 p.m. Parking lots open at 3:30 with complimentary general parking available upon registration for lots B, C, D, E, J, S, and X. Due to construction, only the West Club Gate and Gate 4 will be open for entry at 4:30 p.m. It's 93 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
All I have to say is happy Friday, y'all. That's all I have to say.
Happy Friday. Yeah, oh yeah. And then it's Saturday and Sunday, and then what? Yeah.
Well, then Monday gets us a couple days closer to training camp. So you know what? That's how I'm choosing to look at things.
Absolutely. I can't wait for training. I mean, I really can't wait for the pads, but, I'll endure the first 5 days. It'll be fine.
Taylor knows this, Tom. I am a complete and total geek when it comes to practice. I wish that both Florida and Florida State were close enough that I could do this show and go to their practices in addition to Jaguars practices. I love it all.
You mean just watching it, or you become geeky when you get in there? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you do. Like, you got to be like, when he's staring at different players, or what's the deal?
Not a geek like that in that regard. No, but more like when I'm at practice, you've noticed this, like I don't really chit chat. Like I'll be nice to people, cordial. Yeah. But once the bullets start flying, like I don't want to chit chat. I want to watch every moment of practice.
Yeah. They could be like, do not touch each other today. We're only going to run routes, and Lauren would be there.
I get ecstatic. Like, let me see who's the fastest. Let me see their agility drills. Like I love all that stuff.
Okay. See, I'm like, I don't care about the agility. I don't care, but I get there late. I get there late, because I just want to see them compete against each other. So
I don't get there to see them stretch.
No, but even though, I mean, how many times can you watch receivers run the ladder? You know what I mean? Last year we saw them run the ladder like 20,000 times. Like, great, this is great. They can run the ladder. I just like getting there, but I tell you what, I do like getting off to the side, but in the end zone when they go team, you can see a ton from the end zone, especially at that level on the ground, especially being so close. You see things open up. You can see when receivers get open. You can see when defenders are closing. And you can see the gaps. You can just see it all. It's just fantastic. That's
the middle
what I love.
linebacker,
I love
view.
that.
View.
Yeah.
Which that was fun. When we were at OTAs, that's Lauren and I were kind of standing in that spot where you could really see that interior of the defensive line and the linebackers work. And I enjoy that too. It's fun to me. And you don't even have pads on. Once the pads go on, it goes to a whole other level of what you can see once they start actually hitting each other.
Right. Yeah. Which the fun part, because there's 3 of us for our show, we can each take a different position group at times. Because of course they'll split up when they're not when they're in individual drills, not team drills. Yep. So Tom can watch the linebackers or the defensive linemen. Taylor, you can watch the safeties. Yeah, the safeties, because you're very concerned about the corners and the safeties. And I get to watch the quarterback and the receivers. But I love that stuff. What did y'all think about last night's episode? Tom, I'll start with you. The episode of The Hunt, as far as the Iron Jaguar games, we finally got to see more of that.
Yeah, well, so I only saw the highlight. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I love it. I think it's fantastic. That's how you build grit, man, inside your team. That's how you build some togetherness. The workouts on your own, that has grit in its own right, don't get me wrong. But when you're with your team and competing the way they were with the tug-of-wars, with the bikes or, competing about that, throwing the medicine ball, doing all that stuff, that really brings you together. And it's like Andrew Wingard said, he's like, it's just a different culture, man. We haven't had this kind of culture. And that just gets me all excited. Like, I'm jacked up because that's what I've been waiting for years. Like, it is culture. It's always about the culture. You got to have talent, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But you got to have the culture, that winning mentality, that grit, that togetherness, and I think they're building it, and it kind of showed in that video. I thought it was kudos to the team that put it together, because I know I've been hard on you in some videos, but I'm here to tell you right now that was absolutely fantastic. So congrats to everybody.
Yeah, Patrick Kavanaugh posted that they loved this idea from the onset, Taylor, and as far as I don't know that we've ever gotten this much access in the offseason.
Yeah.
And so it is super cool. And by the way, who was the number 1 overall pick in the video?
Oh, yeah.
Trayvon Walker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which we figured
Yeah.
that.
We figured that
Everyone's
out.
like, you're not letting Trayvon not go first. Yeah, they do a great job with the Hunt video. Every Hunt episode that they've put out, I've really enjoyed. This one, the word I'm about to use is probably not the best word.
Okay.
But it was cute. Like, there were moments like seeing Logan Cook kind of joke. It felt like the Office show in certain aspects, like Logan being like, man, we didn't, we were going fast and we should have gone strong. And there was a couple like funny quotes from Logan Cook that I thought were good. Foye was like, I win, and like just things like that. So it was cute that you got to see a little bit more of like personalities into that. And we know some of them. Foye obviously has been on Helmets and Heels, so we're very familiar with Foye and his joking, and he's really fun and he can let loose. He's obviously a beast once that switch flips on the football field. But so it was fun to see some of that, them have a good time. Dewey Wingard, obviously, we know the Dewey personality, but to let that come through a little bit where he's like, we probably were last. Like, it's just, those things are fun because they are competitive, and it shows that in all parts of their life, they're competitive.
Absolutely.
How about the word humorous?
Oh, yeah. Yes, humorous.
Because I feel like the players, Tom, if they heard she was describing the Iron Jaguar games,
it was cute though. They
would rebel.
That was the first thing I was like, that was cute at the end. I'm like, I wasn't feeling like fierceness at the end, and that's what maybe I don't know. You said you didn't watch the whole thing. It wasn't at the end where I was like, yeah, I want to run through a wall. I was like, that was cool.
Or maybe I've been in those kind of workouts. I know what they do. You know, Taylor.
Well, and that's what
and I know you don't like working out, so it's okay.
I don't.
It's okay.
But
We're gonna get her
watching,
no, you're right.
Watching the video to me wasn't like an intent. Like I was watching something intense. It was kind of like fun games, which I enjoy. It felt more like Pro Bowl-y to me, which is fun. But I wasn't like at the end like, oh yeah, I feel like we're about to win the Super Bowl.
They mixed in like Office with American Gladiators.
Yeah,
like
pretty
that,
much.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say, I don't think that, or for me, it's 26 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Like we always, as soon as it drops, we put it on our big screen TV. And not that it's that big. I just mean we put it on the TV. We don't watch it on like the phone or a laptop or an iPad or whatever. And I wanted more of the, like, I'm maybe the opposite of you, Taylor. I wanted more of the competition part of things.
Which, and I would. And maybe if we saw more of that, I would say I would have more of that vibe of like, oh, that was intense.
Exactly.
But I didn't get that because it was a lot more of the drafting and the kind of side little vignettes that they were doing and stuff like that. So, but it was good.
And it's cool to get to see the personality of Eric Ciano, who longtime Bills strength and conditioning head coach up there, and now the strength and conditioning coach here.
How many people would it take, do you think, in a tug of war at 10-10? Not Leon, because he's a big boy, but other than Leon, that could beat Mason Smith? He's the only one on the tug of war. How many would it take?
Probably 10.
Yeah. If you and Leon aren't in on it, then probably all of us.
Yeah. I mean, if you're helping Tom, then
I don't know. I don't know if I can help very
much.
much.
Because I will say this about our 10-10 employees. Some of them have recently lost weight, so kudos to them. A lot of them do cardio, but I'm not sure that there's a lot of strength training going on in as far as the people working in this building. Does that? And I'm not criticizing anyone for that.
No,
I'm just saying.
I'm not. So,
by the way, Taylor's wearing a jumbo shrimp hat. For those that are not watching on YouTube,
back.
Are you going to the shrimp game tonight?
I'm not going tonight. It was that I felt like, number one, I almost put on my Cubs hat, and then I was like, actually, I'm going to go shrimp. Shrimp been playing very well this season, and now the Cubs are actually on right now. But I was like, baseball's back. I may go to one of the games coming up this next series. I haven't been, honestly, in like a month, so it's about time to go back.
Yeah, that's a great venue. I haven't seen the new venue, the addition and all
renovated.
that. I got to get to a game for sure. It's a great part of Jacksonville.
Yeah, and they did such a great job. They've got the home plate club, which is the elite seats where you get all the food and drink for free once you get those seats. Obviously, the people had to pay for those for the season, but those are like really plush leather seats. I got to sit in there. I did not have access to the home plate club for Florida State baseball, but got to sit in those seats. And literally, my family and I, we were like, I don't want to sit in any seats ever again. You're super close to the plate, and then Taylor sat in the power alley.
Which is in right field. You'd probably like that, Tommy. It's really cool because you're in right field, so you still have that bleachers vibe, but it's connected to, you have your own entrance of a restaurant that has its own bar and food and tables, air conditioning in there, TVs in there. So you can, if you need to escape the heat for a minute and get a drink, you can, but you still have that bleachers vibe in right field. It's really it's fun.
Thursday's the night to go, or would you say over the weekend?
Thursdays is Thirsty Thursday, right? So definitely if you want to get those cheap beers and drink, and that's one of the best days to go just because of the crowd-wise. guys. It'll be packed every Thursday.
Yeah, they've been getting great crowds.
Yeah.
They definitely get great crowds, and the people watching on Thursdays is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you're not someone who wants the $1.25 or however much it is, like draft beer, then I would say like Friday night they have fireworks after the game. It's Red Shirt Fridays. They also have fireworks after the game on Saturday, which is a lot of fun. Sundays are usually the matinees. We've gone on Tuesday nights before. It's once the sun goes down too, because people think it's so hot, but they've got a breeze because you're right there along the St. Johns River.
That's right.
So it's so nice. Did either of y'all see the post that Jordan Lewis had that went fairly viral over the last day or so?
About Mike Williams, that one?
Yes.
Okay.
So we talked about Mike Williams retiring yesterday after an 8-year career in the NFL, and certainly most of it with the Chargers. And we kind of joked, and I think we were right, about he got to work with
Jim
Harbaugh
Harbaugh.
as his coach, and he was like, I'm not about this life. So Jordan Lewis, the new Jaguars nickel corner, for people who don't know, went to Michigan.
Yep.
So he played for Jim Harbaugh. So he tweeted out or posted, Mike Williams had one day of Harbaugh's camp and said, this is it.
This is it.
This is it.
He later was like, this isn't any like a shot at you, Mike. I just know how these camps go, and you don't see the sun unless you're like out at practice. He also posted one of the like workout, one of the days,
the full day
schedule of one of the Jim Harbaugh workouts. And yeah, it looks pretty intense to me. But look, it worked last year for the Chargers. So whatever you got to do, you got to do.
Are they done like just 1 hour and 45-minute practice in the morning? Hit happy hour around 4 or what?
Yeah,
is that
I don't
the deal?
think they're. Well, now I have no
Tom,
idea.
are you already criticizing the new regime?
No, I am not criticizing anything. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I would have loved to hit happy hour at 4 o'clock during training camp. Are you kidding me? Be awesome.
I think the schedule that we have seen for training camp, because it is not as long as certainly the 3-hour practices that we've seen here before.
Yep.
My guess is that's the portion of it that's open to the fans and open to the media, and that there's going to be a lot more of it that they don't want us.
Hopefully,
yeah, for sure.
If not, we will not be ready by week 1.
I mean, you gotta. Look, the morning practices, and you got to do what you got to do. But maybe you're right. Maybe when we're not there, they're going to be practicing like 11, 12, 1, and they need to. Like that's when you play.
Yeah,
you play at 1 o'clock, so you might as well get used to that heat at that time.
That is true. And this team plays at 1 o'clock. I don't have the stat in front of me, but I would imagine the top 5 teams that play at 1 o'clock, like as far as the percentage, I would imagine the Jaguars are in that percentage as far as not getting primetime games.
Oh yeah, and it's been like that most years. I feel like the one thing is people are like, well, you got to win, but every year they give teams that don't win more primetime games. I think you just have to. A person like Travis Hunter will get you more primetime games, especially if he does what we think he can do.
Yeah, if you're not a primetime team, you got to have a primetime player too, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll put you on there. And if there's a story, I love how they schedule. The NFL does. They wait for all the stories to get done, and then they schedule. You're like, okay, you're smart, right?
Because it used to come out so early, and I think they figured that out. That number one, there's still so many changes. Yeah, you don't know who these people, how the teams are drafting yet. There's a lot of trades that go on right before the draft, and so they've started. The NFL's very smart when it comes to their offseason and how they plan things.
Absolutely.
You got that right. That's why they're a multi-billion-dollar organization. All right, the NFL season, speaking of it, is about 50 days away, so we'll go through some under-the-radar players to watch. Are there any Jaguars on the list? We will find out. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Feel Good Friday on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Lee and Kate's Glass.
Friday on Helmets and Heels.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
We feel like children.
They are the drill.
We're closer than brothers, because brothers always fight.
Mornings.
We really have a relationship that's way, way past that.
On 1010XL.
We've grown up.
Well, you just heard me say football season is almost here, under 50 days away. So before it arrives, I'm going to get our home organized. Lauren Brooks here. I'm so excited to meet with the team at Closets by Design early next week and discuss all the different improvements that they can make for our home. And yes, you can do the same. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione. Campione Law.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today, 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
This is Jennifer Marion at Randy Marion Cadillac. Are you ready to drive away today in luxury? Then you should check out Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville.
Discover our luxurious lineup with over 100 Cadillacs to choose from, including the stunning Cadillac IQ, Lyric, Optique, and Vistique.
And here's something important. The $7,500 tax credit on EV vehicles will be gone in just 90 days.
That's right. Don't miss your chance to save while driving in style.
Visit us at Randy Marion Cadillac.
Plus tax tag Title $9.99 admin fee and resist all on approved credit.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, wants to make your flight in and out of Jax a fun one. Stop by Vino Volo in the airport and enjoy 2 signature brackish cocktails. Vino Volo has amazing food and cocktails before your flight. Brackish Vodka is the first clean craft vodka and made right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Brackish Vodka for whatever your sport is. If your sport is flying, your vodka is Brackish, proud partner of the Jaguars.
At Tucker Equipment Rental in Neptune Beach, you just don't rent quality machines, you rent quality customer service. Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Dave. Tucker Equipment Rental has been supplying Jacksonville with equipment and event rental for over 50 years.
From commercial and homeowner projects, we've got what you need: lifts, dirt equipment, and landscape equipment.
And don't forget about event rentals, from festivals to weddings to backyard barbecues.
Local, knowledgeable, and always ready to help.
Tucker Equipment Rentals.
You need it, we've got it, come see us. It's Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacks Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacks Beach, or visit apexroofingfl.com.
The oldest and most prestigious golf tournament in the world.
It's been exciting to watch, I'll tell you what.
Follow the Open Championship on 1010XL, channeled by 904 Gutters with a Z and topdressing.com.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference. For 100 years, service you can trust. Lee and Kate's Glass, depend on us. Glass solutions to meet your needs. Reliable quality guaranteed. Complete customer satisfaction. With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Hal Sutton when he famously said, "Be the right club today"? Well, that's what Coil Fencing delivers. The right fence today. And they've been delivering the right fencing for both commercial and residential properties for nearly 100 years. If you're in the market for a new fence, call Coil & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it work. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover. Don't pop like trouble, breaking into your heart like that.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Who are we listening to?
I have no idea.
All right, RJ.
It sounds familiar, but
we had the singer wrong last time we guessed, so I'll let you tell us.
That was me. I guessed wrong.
It's BTS.
Okay.
BTS.
BTS.
Yeah. Not BTJ. BTS.
Not BTJ. Although I've learned that the players and coaches call him BT.
We add the J.
Media and fans that add the J, which of course we do because he's Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's BT to Trevor Lawrence and company.
Call him Mr. Touchdown. That's what we want.
Yeah. I'm sure he likes that too.
All right, Zachary Pirellis is his name on CBS Sports, came up with 50 days from the NFL season and 50 under-the-radar players to keep an eye on that could shape the 2025 NFL season.
Yep.
Taylor, you sent me the article, so I'm not going to in any way, shape, or form have you guess. Tom, did you read it already?
I didn't read it, but Tony talked about it a little bit earlier, so
yeah,
I can pretend like I haven't heard it. I'm good at that.
Like,
I can say, what are you talking about?
Who do you think the two Jaguars are that make the list? Okay, so then we will get right past that and go right to the fact that Travis Etienne is number 6 on this list. He goes on to say from 2022 to 2023, only 3 running backs, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, and Josh Jacobs, posted more yards from scrimmage than Etienne. Yep. Taylor is much bigger or higher, I should say, on Travis Etienne Jr. for just this season than maybe a lot of other people. I feel like, Taylor, this speaks to maybe Etienne is a guy that's going to grab hold of the competition.
Yeah, and that is exactly why I've been saying this, because I feel like we've seen Travis Etienne already do it. And Tommy made the good point, too, the other day of that the relationship with him and Trevor, too. And I hadn't even listed that when I was talking about my hot take for the season of Travis Etienne. But that is, I think, a big factor in this. There's not many people left on that offense that Trevor has any sort of connection with. So if you can gravitate towards anybody to at least initially in the season make this a little easier for Trevor and feel like he still has somebody, a go-to guy. Yep. And when they talk about that, from scrimmage, that's another thing that I've said I feel like is going to be more involved. And that's something that Travis Etienne, when it comes to catching balls out of the backfield, the run game, that perimeter stuff, when you did that with Travis, he was a different type of back. And I fully expect Liam Cohen, he's smart enough to know that that is the type of back Etienne is and to really value that. Now, a part of that is, to Tommy's point, there's a lot of running backs that people are high on this roster. So come week 6, if somebody's calling you about Etienne, what does that look like for the Jaguars? But I think Etienne himself is going to have a good season.
I don't think Liam Cohen, Tom. I don't think Liam Cohen would have come out and said we're moving on from Etienne if there was even a chance of that, in my opinion. Otherwise, you don't even talk about that. You don't address that head on. You just say, we love Travis Etienne. He's going to be good for us. And then you move on.
At the time, because there was rumors that they were already going to trade in the offseason. That could, in week 5, if people are like, we'll give you a 3rd-round draft pick, that could have changed minds.
A second-round one?
Maybe a second that
maybe
you don't have.
First-rounder?
Yeah.
You don't have one of those?
And if, for example, if Tank is playing, Tank takes another step up and we're seeing Bashal Tootin be this guy that can, also add to that receiving game, things can change 4 or 5 weeks into a season when it comes to that and the value of what you get out of a player. Also, we know that the running back contracts aren't something that a lot of teams are super high on paying those guys.
Yeah, listen, for Etienne, you're not going to do anything right now because he's your insurance. Yeah. I mean, you got 2 guys that have, in Tank and in Tootin. They're very promising guys, but they're both known for what? Putting the ball on the ground. Yeah. You can't put the ball on the ground. And I haven't seen Tootin pass block, but I've seen Tank, and he's only okay. He's not as good as he needs to be. So then you get down to LaKent Allen and seeing what he can do. So right now, Etienne's in the driver's seat, and I agree with you. Those perimeter runs, he's very good at. But you'd like to think that a guy like Tootin, who's got 4.3 speed, he'd be good at it too. Get him out there too and see what they can do. But, look, one thing about Etienne is he's never afraid to go inside the tackles. He does take a lot of big shots and has he always used to get creamed. It was like at the end of an 11-yard run, he'd still just get wiped right off, off his feet. But look, he's not going to go down without a fight, and he can pass block better than the others right now. He's better out of the backfield than at least what we know. We don't know about Allen yet. So, he's got a lot of value. Yeah. So, but things can change. And what if Tootin just shows you like, oh, I got to keep him on the field. What if Tank says, well, he's looking pretty good. Maybe he should be the back of it, and then Allen comes through as this third down back that you can count on. Then it changes, and then Etienne's sitting there going, well, am I missing time? My carries getting taken away. Are they using me less? And if so, well, then that is when things could happen from another team if they need a back like him.
I wanted to look at the Bucs 2024 53-man roster out of training camp, ahead of the preseason, after the preseason, ahead of the regular season, and they carried only 3 running backs. However, you kind of have to put an asterisk on that. And again, Liam Cohen wasn't the head coach, but he was the offensive coordinator and the play caller. Chase Edmonds suffered an injury right before that, so they had to put him on IR. But I think they would have carried 4 running backs on the 53-man roster, which of course then squeezes a different position group. But that's what is going to be also interesting. We're talking about who's going to be the featured back, but also are all 4 going to be on this roster come the 53?
And what about kick returning? Tank can kick return. Maybe Tootin can too. We don't know.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing in Tank's corner, that he can return kicks. He's pretty good at it.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that speed and explosiveness.
Oh, yeah. And obviously can run people over too if you need that side of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So the other Jaguar that made the list, number 17, Walker Little.
Yeah.
Zachary goes on to say, Walker, who has played 17 games just one time, has been an on and off starter. Now with heightened expectations given the hire of Cohen and the addition of Travis Hunter, the Jaguars are hoping that he can become the answer at left tackle. Look, because of the Anton Harrison conversation, because of what Liam Cohen said about him, I feel like we've almost a little bit forgotten that there may be a true competition at left tackle, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying that they platooned the left tackle in OTAs and the mandatory minicamp, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit more rotation and competition when it comes to that spot moving into the training camp that begins next week. But people like you that are high on Walker Little make me think, well, maybe not. Maybe Fred Johnson is just there as a backup.
Well, right now, my guess is Walker's your starter at left tackle, and it's his job to lose. It's funny, and I hope that's true. Wouldn't that be great if you had a left tackle that you didn't have to worry about?
Definitely.
You didn't have to keep a tight end next to him.
That's a dream come true.
Right. Or you didn't have to, keep the back end to chip the defensive end to help him out. He can just handle the guy, for the most part. And that would be great if Walker could turn into something like that. Look, Fred's here to compete. He's not just going to lay down and give it to him. And at the end of the day, you need a swing tackle. You need 10. You got to have 5 starters and 5 backups because anything can happen. And those guys go down. You need someone to step in. And guys that play multiple positions, have the leg up in that. But I like seeing that it's Walker, man. I hope that's the case. And I do believe, look, man, maybe it's wishful thinking. I don't think it is because I know Baselli well enough. He's got to have an impact and influence on how they play offensive line. You know what I mean? He's at least from a mentality standpoint, not a technical or system or philosophical, but just an aggressive mentality, finishing blocks. He's got to have that. And we heard Gladstone talk about Hainsey. What did he weigh? One game, but he was finishing blocks. He was getting after people. Like that's what we want out of our offensive linemen. So. I think we're going to see that. I do. And I think Walker can turn into that. He's got all the physical tools to be that just really good left tackle. I've said that for years. If the spark could just click to where he just wants to embarrass the guy across from him just for a little bit, Walk. Just, you don't have to hurt him all game long, but just a little bit, it would be so good for this team.
Are you surprised Cam Robinson always won that competition?
No. And the thing that really I thought Walker had a shot at was, and people are like, well, you can't play right. You can play right. You can play left. When he didn't beat out Jawan Taylor. Mm-hmm. And Jawan had his best year. Now we know what happened to him, but he had every opportunity to take that job. It was his job if he wanted it, if he took it, and he just didn't take it. And Jawan did, and he was the better player for it, and then he became the swing. But so, no, I'm not that surprised. And I think that, I tell you what, Cam had the viciousness. If he had Walker's ability and all that, he'd be a different player. Yeah.
If you could combine those two guys together.
It'd be just
well, and
awesome.
that's what I think that ideally the hope is that, and I think that with the full season of Walker Little knowing, hey, I'm going into the season being the starting left tackle, and that's his mindset right now, and it should be his mindset. I keep going back to the sacks allowed. Walker Little technically only allowed 2 last year, and Fred Johnson allowed 8. So I think that when you look, and there's a lot of factors into that, but I still do think that, to me, Walker Little at this point should be the starting left tackle. And I also think that benefits your offense and Trevor, too.
Yeah.
If Anton Harrison can zone in and be the guy that we know we saw a couple years ago from Anton, and Walker Little continues to develop and is the future left tackle, then you do have your bookends that now Trevor does have experience with. You already have possibly 3 new interior guys once we see week 1 how that looks. 2 of them most likely, and then if Milam, see what Milam ends up doing and what Ezra looks like. But in potential, you already have 3 guys in front of Trevor that are new. Do you really want 4 or 5? I don't know if you want that.
Oh, good point.
Watching the line last year, yes, I want.
Some people,
yeah. You made it. I think Taylor, you made a comment on Twitter about Laramie Tunsil. They said he gave up the least amount of pressures, but he had like 35 penalties.
Yeah.
So what does that even
you
mean?
Want Taylor. That's what. That's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, because Juwan and him had the most in the league.
So think about it. What does that mean? So he's a great tackle because he's least amount of pressure. But you know what those penalties are? What are the penalties? They're false starts.
Yep.
Because why? Because you're trying to get back quick because you're afraid the guy's going to beat you deep.
You're jumping early because you're scared. Maybe
you're holding because you have to save. These are the things that you're doing.
And that's legal formation.
And, and also in that, how many times on the offensive line, Tommy, are people holding that it doesn't get called because it is that tic-tac? So how many times is Laramie Tunsil not called for a holding and he's not getting these pressures because he's a step ahead because he's jumping a little bit earlier, is holding or whatever the case may be. And I had quote tweeted that and I was like, it's weird how you can be so good and bad at a position at the same time, because if you're backing your offense up consistently, I don't know if I'd put you as one of the best left tackles if we're going backwards every time you're on the field.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times, like, as far as stats on sacks, who gave it up, who didn't, when they do those cross and, games in front of you, you don't know, are they both on the same page? You know what I mean? Are they both at the right time? Or and then they just, it was over the tackle, then he came inside, so it should have been him, but wait a minute, no, it shouldn't have been. The guard should have came over.
It's very intricate.
You don't really know. But listen, if you're giving up, no disrespect, Fred, you're a big man. But 8 sacks in 7 games or whatever. That you got to look at that. But I tell you what, he's athletic as all get out. Fred Johnson, he's a mountain of a man and very athletic. And look, maybe new scenery, and you can never have too many good offensive linemen that you.
I was
going
to say tackles, but
I want the best 5 on the field, clearly. But I do think that we talk about consistency, and consistency is what you want to build towards too.
Absolutely. By the way, 10 days away from the pads going on. I know the countdown starts with the practice beginning on Wednesday, but 10 days away. A couple birthday shout outs. I know you already did these, Tom, on Jaguars today, but Tony Smith, happy birthday today.
Yep.
Jeff Loggeman, happy birthday.
Logs.
Dave Campo, happy birthday.
Yeah, Coach.
And Shad Khan.
Yeah, Mr. Khan, happy birthday.
I wonder who's having the best birthday.
And our friend Andy Jones from Julio Gulia, it's his birthday today too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're great band.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Absolutely. All right. Well, happy birthday to all of them. We've got NFL news to discuss on the other side, and an open championship comes your way right now. Keep it right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's a Helmets and Heels. Lee and Kate's Glass, Friday. This Open Championship update on 1010XL is teed up by TopDressing.com and 904 Gutters with a Z.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 153rd British Open, sponsored by Kohl's. Bring on back to school with on-trend styles at Kohl's and Kohl's.com, where families come first. Matt Fitzpatrick would love to add an Open title to go with his U.S. Open victory 3 years ago. He's in the lead with the second round winding down at Royal Portrush. 9 under par, 8 birdies today for Fitzpatrick, including 4 straight to start the back 9. Scotty Scheffler, Brian Harman, and Hao Tong Lee are one back at 8 under. Scheffler now on the toughest hole on the course, the par 4 14th. He is in the fairway after cutting his drive just right of the bunker. Harman matched the round of the week today with a bogey-free 6 under 65. We await a rules decision for Shane Lowry at the 12th. In the rough off the fairway, his ball appeared to move as Lowry took a practice swing. Could be a penalty stroke, but as it is, Lowry made par. For now, 1 under, 8 back. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
This summer with Kohl's, you can rack up the compliments. Like, where'd you get that dress? Tell me all your makeup secrets. Or, ooh, my husband needs that polo in every color. Because Kohl's has what you need. Cute dresses, Sephora essentials, stylish polos, comfy kids clothes, and more. Plus, take 20% off some of your faves. Yep, Cue the compliments with Kohl's. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offer ends July 20th. Coupons and Kohl's Cash do not apply to Sephora. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know that for every inch of rain on a 2,000 square foot roof, 1,500 gallons come off the eaves of the roof? Call Clearwater Seamless Gutters and Drainage, and we'll design a plan using our Clearwater Seamless Gutters, and we'll connect those gutters to a Clearwater drainage system to solve your erosion and standing water issues.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters.
And drainage, too.
SeamlessGuttersJacksonville.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins. Fighting for your rights since 1975.
The countdown is on. Save the date because Diamonds Direct's Designer Summer Sale kicks off this Monday, July 21st with 20% off the entire store. Engagement rings, diamond studs, fashion jewelry, and more. Want early access? Book your appointment now because the best pieces go fast. Don't miss the jewelry event of the season next week only at Diamonds Direct, and designer appearances July 25th through 27th. Top designers from New York and LA with their exclusive collections. Visit diamondsdirect.com to book your appointment and start saving.
Looking for summer fun the whole family can enjoy? Check out Wick, a candle bar. Make your own custom candles and body care products in store at Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 18, 1999, John Vandeveld famously triple bogeyed the last hole of the British Open, causing him to go to a playoff where he would eventually lose to Paul Lawrie.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
You wouldn't drive your car 50,000 miles without an oil change. So why are you ignoring your septic tank? That thing's working around the clock, taking every flush, shower, and mystery casserole down the line. Eventually, it fills up. And when it does, you do not want to find out the hard way. Don't wait for the stink. Septic tanks need to be pumped every 3 to 5 years. Call 904-862-6769 to schedule your septic pump out with the pros at Duck Duck Rooter. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coatings. We coat it all. Garages, pool decks, driveways, and patios. Be the envy of your neighbors.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
1010 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Probably heard us talk about Circa Resort and Casino out in Las Vegas. Well, in just over a month, we will be back there. We went for our first time in December of last year ahead of Jaguars Raiders. We'll be headed there later in August 21st and 22nd, and then again late October, early November for this year's Jaguars Raiders game. You can, of course, join us for the ultimate football kickoff party if you register for the Circa Million or Circa Survivor contest. And you can win up to $21 million between the two. $15 million for Circa Survivor. If you're the last one standing, you pick one game a week. No spread.
I'm not talking about spreads today.
If you missed it, go back and listen to Wednesday around 3:20 p.m. We will not revisit. And then Circa Million, you pick 5 games against the spread each week for both quarterly and season-long prizes, and that's up to $1 million. So it's a phenomenal both are phenomenal contests. It's a phenomenal resort. If you've never been to Circa, I tell people who've been to Vegas, like I know you've probably been to the Bellagio and you've been to other places. Next time, stay at Circa. I 100% promise you will say thank you.
Yeah, you do have to register in Nevada, but you can go the weekend you're there if you want to hang out and do the ultimate football kickoff with us. But the registrations are open now through September 6th at 2 p.m. So if you go to Vegas anytime between then, you can go to any of the Circa resorts and casinos and their sports books. But we will be at the one, obviously, in Las Vegas. And if you want to search, if you search Circa Casino Resort, there's plenty that comes up, but also look up Stadium Swim because that's part of it, and it's fantastic. We went winter, obviously, last year in December, and so they were hot tubs. They turned the pool, all the pools are heated, so it's hot tub party. Technically, it's the biggest hot tub party in the United States, but during summer, it's hot. So now it'll be pools, DJs. It has massive screens out by the pool so you can watch the sports that are on at that time, which it'll be some football games that weekend are starting, like the beginning of college football will be starting. But you will obviously have baseball and heading into the postseason soon, baseball. So still some good stuff to watch up on the screens, too.
Yeah, we have a friend who had his bachelor party at Stadium Swim at Circa Resort and Casino.
Right.
You know him as well, Tom. Our good friend Graham. And
right.
Yeah, he came back and was like, that was some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. And I was like, well, just wait for your wedding. That'll be even more fun.
That's right.
But yeah, the Circa Resort and Casino, the reason it's different than a lot of other places is the sports book. Like most of the time you have, at least from what people have told me, we spent most of our time, like we've said, at Circa, but that you kind of
barely saw daylight.
That is true for you. You do have the hotel with like the shows and restaurants, and then the sports books are usually a little bit separate. This is all combined. The casino's literally right behind the sports book, and you've got restaurants to the left and right, and certainly bars everywhere. It's a phenomenal place.
Oh, yeah. If you head over to 1010xl.com/Vegas, and we have all the details on there. Also, the link to the Circa Casino Resort website. That way you can kind of read more if you have more questions about the contests themselves, rooms, all of that, all the information you need up on our website.
Absolutely. And I know we just had an open update for everybody, but Matthew Fitzpatrick now at 9 under, and Scotty Scheffler through 14 is 8 under. So even though
surprised?
I'm certainly not surprised, and he's in a group that's all at 8 under, but it feels like Scotty hasn't played well at links courses in the past, so that's why some people maybe were a little surprised. Concerned. But right now,
the moment you doubt him, Scotty's like, okay, let me find a reason.
Yeah, which is fascinating because earlier this week, and we didn't have time the other day to play the comments, but he basically said that winning is not fulfilling in life. And some people completely crushed him for those comments. It reminded me a lot of Trevor Lawrence talking about football and kind of how you have to keep life in perspective, that yes, football is amazing and everybody wants to win. That's why you put in the hard work. But there's also other parts of your life that are important, and you have to keep it, whether you have faith, whether you have family, you have to keep it food for some people, football, but you have to keep it in the right, priority list. And so I didn't mind Scotty Scheffler's comments. I actually appreciated that he said kind of what some people feel is like, no matter how hard you work, like your career, regardless of whether it's in sports or not, your career is great, and it's great from an accomplishment standpoint, but it's not going to be the fulfilling thing for your entire life.
Yeah, I want to call out the one guy on Twitter who posted the picture recently of Trevor with the baby and the dog, and the guy was like,
Two dogs and the baby.
I was like, I think pretty much criticizing because Trevor was laying with his baby and a dog for probably ended up being 5 minutes or something. Who cares? Like,
that's also at his house. Like, that's what you need to understand. His wife posted that picture because he had just finished a workout at home. And that's his trainer that's sitting on the bench. And then, he's got the two dogs. Yeah. And then his daughter. And,
a little.
Yeah.
The guy deleted
That's
it
ridiculous.
since then.
They deleted it. And look, we are going to have the conversation about certainly Trevor Lawrence for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
If he plays super well this year, there are still going to be people that are detractors, right? Because they're going to say, well, it was a one-off, and we saw what happened in 2022, and then he got hurt those other 2 years. Like, there's still going to be people that are not in the Trevor camp, but that's a conversation for a different day. The NFL news that happened yesterday, TJ Watt, for the second time in his career, not once, but twice, he's the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history. $41 million per year. That's just above, of course, Myles Garrett, who got $40 million per year after he whined and said he wanted to leave Cleveland, and then they gave him the money, and he, of course, stayed there. No player has recorded more sacks over the last 5 seasons than TJ Watt with 73.5. You can probably debate, Tom, the top pass rusher in all of the NFL. Some people might pick Myles Garrett. Some people might pick Micah Parsons.
Trey Hendrickson.
Some people might pick Trey Hendrickson. Some people might pick TJ Watt. To me, they're all excellent and elite, and you'd want all of them on your football team.
Yeah, well, listen, Watt, if he didn't have the 1 year where he only had 5 sacks because of injury, I mean, he would even be higher. Myles Garrett's a good one-on-one. You look at his sacks from 20. I did this little thing earlier at home, looking at T.J. Watt, looking at Trey Hendrickson, looking at Myles Garrett, and then Josh Hines-Allen and how they fared sack-wise from 2020. Myles Garrett's just like
He's
14,
insane.
16, 16, 15,
He's insane.
13, like just unbelievable. Of course, Watt had the 22.5. He's had 19.5. And last year was 11.5. So he's always near the top. Trey Hendrickson, he's been, aside from 1 year, he was at 8, but he's had back-to-back 17.5 sack seasons. And that just says what kind of guy and what kind of player he is. So, look, I know for our guy, Josh Hines-Allen, it's not way off, but lower than those guys. And if he can get back to a little bit of 2023, he's going to have a monster. I think he's going to have a monster. I think our front four is going to hunt this year. I think they're going to have put up some great production and really get after the quarterback. And I look, in Josh's defense last year, how many times was he not out there on critical downs, on pass rushing downs and still getting 8 sacks? Trayvon, same deal, still getting 10.5 sacks. Think of how many times they weren't even out there, which is absurd.
They were playing Rochambeau, which is the French word for rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see who needed to be out.
Exactly.
I only know that that's the French word for that because it's a wine, and I went to the winery one time.
I never question why you know little things like that. I will, and we didn't a name we didn't even mention that's in the division. And when we were talking about the edge rushers in the division, the reason we talk about Houston is a guy like Danielle Hunter. When you look at Danielle Hunter's career, he had started with 6 his rookie season, and then 12.5, then 7, but 14.5, 14.5, 10.5, 16.5, 12. He has 99.5 sacks in 9 years, and TJ Watt has 108 in 8 years. Did you see JJ Watt's tweet? Towards it, by the way, because number one, he had, so somebody posted the graphic and it was like career earnings, 12 years, JJ Watt, $129.7 million. And then it said new extension, 3 years, $123 million for TJ Watt. And so JJ said, I swear, if this guy even lets me begin to reach out for my wallet at dinner, ... But TJ is 7 sacks away from passing JJ's career sack number, by the way.
Yeah.
Which they play different positions. You have to note that. And certainly, TJ Watt was hurt that 1 year. JJ Watt suffered with a back injury, I feel like multiple years over his career.
He was such a beast, that guy, though. Man, J.J. Watt, incredible.
Absolutely. At one point in time, the Texans had a legit Deshaun Watson at quarterback, and they had obviously J.J. Watt, and then they had DeAndre Hopkins.
and they let that go. That was they've done the weirdest things when it comes to trades in Houston. Like, I never understand their longevity of decisions.
Yeah, well, not just trades and how they treat their players too, and what they let them do behind closed
signing
doors.
Players.
The other piece of NFL news, and this I don't think is a big deal for most people, Tom, but certainly you can speak to it more than the average person. The NFL Players Association now will have to replace the executive director Lloyd Howell Jr. after he announced his resignation last night. That certainly affects the players' union, which, again, I don't think most fans really care that much about that. All they care about is that the CBA continues or a new one is done, so that way they get football every year or baseball, that there's no lockout.
Yeah, they'll do a vote and they'll replace them, and it'll be status quo. Guys are probably dying to get that job and have that role. And just make sure that the players' side is always protected well.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I don't know, you could probably talk to somebody better than me that knows the ins and outs and what they feel about the union. But to me, they've done a fine job. I mean, look, getting half the money's huge, and that's great for the players. I mean, I kid a lot about their schedule, but, man, they fought for that and got it. It's pretty darn good. You're practicing less and making more money than you've ever in the history of the game. So that's great. Our pension goes up, so that's great. My pension just went up again, so I'm happy about that. And
you can't have that job. You cannot become the executive director because you're now busy.
No. No, I wouldn't be good at that. I got too many
I personally don't know
things.
if I'd want that job.
No, I wouldn't.
That's a lot of pressure there.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah.
Too much
and
stuff.
it's in the legal weeds, like that stuff, and that's not that much fun to people. Like, that's not, you don't get to just watch football and hang out and talk about football. That's a much better job. Oh, wait, that's what we have. All right, an Open Championship update is coming your way. We'll continue to keep you updated as to what's happening at Royal Portrush. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010X on 92.5 FM.
Lee and Kate's Glass, Friday on Helmets and Heels. This Open Championship update on 1010XL is teed up by TopDressing.com and 904 Gutters with a Z.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 153rd British Open. Matt Fitzpatrick in the lead by himself near the end of the second round. 9 under par, but he's in an uncomfortable spot after missing the green left at 18. Left his pitch way short, so now 25 feet to save his par. At the moment, he's up 1 on 3 players. 3-time major champion Scotty Scheffler, 2023 Open champion Brian Harmon, and Hao Tong Lee, all 8 under. Lee, the 36-hole leader at the 2020 PGA Championship, is looking forward to the weekend at Portrush.
Will be a lot of pressure for sure, but just have to find a way to deal with that. It's not the first time there, so just hopefully make something happen on the weekend.
Now, Lee speaking during one of the bucket showers this afternoon. Projected cut +1, Bryson DeChambeau right on the number after a 6 under 65, and Phil Mickelson will play the weekend at even par. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
Every day, PGA of America coaches across the country are helping golfers reach their goals. First time picking up a club? Let's get started. 16th hole still giving you some nightmares? Let's conquer it. Want to bring a friend along? Let's learn together. Let's focus on health, on fun, on nothing at all. Let's talk goals. Let's try something new. Let's keep it going. Let's have some fun. Improve, connect, or escape. Wherever your golf journey is headed, let's get you there. Find your PGA of America coach at pga.com/coach.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
This is Jennifer Marion at Randy Marion Cadillac. Are you ready to drive away today in luxury? Then you should check out Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville.
Discover our luxurious lineup with over 100 Cadillacs to choose from, including the stunning Cadillac IQ, Lyric, Optique, and Visti.
And here's something important. The $7,500 tax credit on EV vehicles will be gone in just 90 days.
That's right. Don't miss your chance to save while driving in style.
Visit us at Randy Marion Cadillac.
Plus tax type Title $9.99 admin fee and resist all on approved credit.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out The Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At The Y, summer camps every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey, Hicken here, and every Friday I'll help you put together your sports weekend so you know where you want to go and what you want to do. Watch for Musings with the Media Mogul on YouTube and Facebook, locked down by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
If a birthday or an anniversary is looming in your future, take care of it today by ordering a floral arrangement online at CuneFlowers.com. Hi, Flying Jacko here. Take it from me. An arrangement from Cune Flowers works like magic.
Celebrate National Carpet Cleaning Month with Zero Res. Hicken here. Check this out. $45 per room of carpet clean. Take 20% off your air duct services. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of the savings.
Zero Res.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Vegas, 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 baby.
Vegas, baby. Helmets and Heels is back at Circa Resort and Casino with 2 epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Here's the scoop. In Circa Million, pick 5 games against the spread each week for quarterly prizes and a $1 million grand prize for the season winner. Then there's the legendary Circa Survivor. 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins a guaranteed $15 million. Must enter in Nevada, then play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com for all the details.
Plus, sign up for either contest and score 50% off a 2-night stay at Circa Resort and Casino. You can even join the Ultimate Football Kickoff with Helmets and Heels in Vegas, August 21st and 22nd while you enter. Book your stay at Circa now and chase $21 million in guaranteed prizes, no rate. For full contest details, check out 1010XL.com/Vegas. Vegas, baby.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is poured at Southern Coast Seafood, now open Mondays. Enjoy craft for $12.99 a pound on Tuesdays. Drink Brackish Wednesdays with $1 oyster on the half shell. Brackish Vodka is the first clean craft vodka made right here in Jacksonville for whatever your sport is. If your sport is crab at Southern Coast, your vodka is Brackish. Southern Coast Seafood, now open Mondays. Brackish Vodka, proud partner of the Jaguars.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Baker Glass. The 153rd Open Championship at Royal Portrush has lived up to all the hype to this point. This morning, 2023 champion golfer of the year, Brian Harman, a Georgia Bulldog, fired a 65 to put the lead at 8 under early on. Then for the later tee times, world number 1 Scotty Scheffler seems to be all systems go, as he's currently 8 under through 15 holes, just 1 off the lead. After the last couple of days, the Jumbo Shrimp are back in action against the Gwinnett Stripers tonight at 7:05. Right-handed pitcher Morgan McSweeney gets the start on the bump, looking to stay undefeated as he's 2-0 as a starter. Football season will officially begin this weekend as the Jaguars rookies will report to training camp tomorrow before the vets report Tuesday the 22nd, with first practice on Wednesday. It's 93 degrees at 2:57, time and 10, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Can Max come in here wearing all of his Gator stuff and then pay homage to Brian Harman, the Georgia golfer? We don't need to mention that he's a Georgia golfer. Just let that part fade right along. Actually, Georgia has a ton of good golfers.
Yeah.
They've pumped a lot of them
Isn't
out.
English from Georgia, too? Didn't you say that yesterday or this week?
Yes.
No?
Harris English is also Georgia,
Yeah,
I'm
wow,
pretty sure.
look at that.
There's quite a few.
Never knew Georgia was the,
The hotbed?
Yeah, for golf. But why not?
A quick Google search: Sepp Straka, Brian Harman, Harris English, Russell Henley, Chris Kirk, Keith Mitchell. I thought it was also Patrick Reed. Where did Patrick Reed go to college? I can do this with football so easily. Augusta State, so in Georgia, but not at Georgia. I dislike him for other reasons. By the way, we do have an update on the NFL PA executive director.
Yeah, we do.
No. So he did announce his resignment last night, and I thought it was just a thing because he didn't want to continue the job anymore. I did not realize.
Because also the quote of it when
he was like, "I'm a distraction."
Yeah, well, and they said he wasn't forced. It wasn't anything forced.
Correct.
It was just like his own decision. So it made it seem like it was very clean.
But there's more to the story.
Don't look under the hood, please.
Yeah. So apparently, Tom, you read an article on ESPN that said he was using company funds to do illicit things.
Going to strip clubs and taking car rides to strip clubs. So, yeah, I guess that's a no-no.
Yeah.
I thought if you're the director, you can, a la carte, right?
So that's just one of the conversations where they were like, this isn't good, so you should probably resign.
The problem with not getting ahead of the story, though, is it eventually we find out everything.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to be the morbid one, but every time you see like a young person has
He's like,
passed
that wasn't
away,
in my contract that I couldn't do that.
I'm not supposed to do that.
You can do that. Not that I recommend it, but you can do that. Just don't use company
Just
funds.
don't use the company
Like the moment that you see like a young person passed away, we all click on the story to be like, well, how did they die?
what
And then it
happened?
immediately says like no cause of death given. But then eventually, if you want to find out, a lot of times you'll be able to find out. Like I said, I hate to be the morbid one to go down that road. Okay, so Bud Elliott with now CBS Sports. Once upon a time, he covered Florida State in Tallahassee. But he came up with, about 10 years ago, the blue chip ratio.
Okay.
So, Tom, in layman's terms, the blue chip ratio means...
I've never heard of it.
So it's a fantastic measure. And basically, if your team is above 50% on the blue chip ratio, your team can win the college football national championship.
Okay.
And what that means, the ratio itself means you have more 4- and 5-star players on your
blue chip
roster
players, okay.
than the non-4- and 5-stars, so
Okay.
3-star or below.
Okay.
So with his methodology, of course, most people who pay attention to college football right now are asking the question, does he include transfers into the blue chip ratio? So this year, for the first time, he split his ratio. He did one ratio without transfer portal players, and then he did another with transfer portal players.
Okay.
Most of the time, the team, their ratio decreased if you include the transfer portal players.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yep, because the ones transferring, and Tom, this makes perfect sense, I think, if you think about it.
Yeah.
The ones transferring most likely weren't the 4- and 5-star recruits because those are the guys that end up typically on the field because they're really good football players.
Yeah.
The guys transferring are the ones that can't get on the field and usually aren't. And it doesn't always work out like that.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But we're going to focus more on the 2025 blue chip ratio, not including transfers. So put the transfers
No
aside.
transfers allowed.
If you want to look up the transfer one,
Blue
you
chip.
can. But like I said, they pretty much across the board go down. So there are 18 teams in the country that can win the college football national championship according to the blue chip ratio.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Go for it.
So is it based off your high school rating, even though you may be a junior in college? So
Yes.
they go back to like you were a 4-star coming out of high school?
It
Okay.
goes back. Yes.
That is interesting.
Okay.
It's a great question, but yes. Okay. So here are the schools that can win, again, according to the blue chip ratio.
Okay.
And if you go back and look at his data going back, like I said, he started this, more than 10 years ago. He started this in 2011. Every single team since 2011 that has won the national championship in college football is above the 50% mark.
Okay.
Now, some are close, like the 2013 FSU team was only 53%, so they were close to the marker,
Right.
but still over 50%.
Okay.
2016 Clemson, 52%, but again, over. And then Michigan in 2023, 54%. But then you have a team like Ohio State who won this past year, sorry, Taylor Dahl, 90% was their blue chip ratio. So now you're going to see the disparity also in rosters across college football. So
I would also love to see that number, that Ohio State number with the transfers included, how much it went down from that 93%.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think he did it last year with the
I
transfers.
don't think so either because I remember us going over and I asked why aren't the transfers included, but it makes sense.
I wonder what the correlation between how many blue chips you have and how much money you're spending. You know what I mean? Like Texas A&M, what'd you say, 27 million?
Texas Tech. Yeah,
Texas Tech, sorry, Texas
over
Tech.
20 million. But A&M spends a ton on their players too. But yes, the correlation, to answer your question, if you have a great roster and you're also paying some guys in the transfer portal to come to your school,
high money,
you're going to win a lot of football games. All right, so the two teams tied for the most amount of blue chip players on their roster for this season, Alabama and Ohio State, 89% for blue chip ratio. So people who have the hot takes of Alabama's done, Nick Saban's gone, we shall see if Kalen DeBoer now, especially with Ryan Grubb, the OC that he loved in Washington, if he can get the quarterback to play well and the other aspects of the team play well because they are blue chip prospects, Alabama's not going anywhere. And of course, Ohio State as well. They've always recruited great, whether it was under Urban, whether now under Ryan Day. Before that, Jim Tressel always recruited well.
That's
the
right.
next team, and this should surprise no one as well, Georgia, 84%. Kirby Smart, elite recruiter.
Yep.
Texas A&M comes in at 82%. That's because they are paying a lot of the players. That's not because they've won national championships recently, like those first three teams I mentioned, Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia. That's because they're that oil money runs deep.
Right, but everyone's paying now.
They are, but some are paying at a faster clip than others, or at a higher clip, I should say. Like Sam Pittman earlier this week joined XL Primetime, and Joe asked him, why have there been more players transferring outside of Arkansas than to Arkansas or more players transferring away from Arkansas than pretty much any other team in the country?
Yeah.
And he said, we were slow to NIL dollars.
Okay.
Even
but
though
Bama, they still are giving out a bunch of money.
Alabama is. Arkansas at that point in time was slow to it. Florida, honestly,
they were behind a little bit.
Florida was a little slow when it comes to NIL, which shouldn't surprise you because Florida was slow when it came to facilities.
Yeah.
So they're not on the cutting edge. Okay, so then you've got Texas A&M 82%, Oregon and Texas tied at 78%.
Yep.
LSU 73% tied with Notre Dame. So Notre Dame, that was really impressive to me. We know that LSU is a hotbed for college football.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously high school football feeding into college football. 73% for LSU doesn't surprise me. 73% for Notre Dame surprises me a little. Even though
Brian Kelly.
Suck it, Brian Kelly. Not the Florida Georgia Line singer, but the head coach at LSU. Dabo Sweeney didn't realize that there were two Brian Kellys. One in Georgia Line, one of the head coach. But Notre Dame is much farther away from the recruits. Like Indiana is not a state that is filled with, no offense to them, but I feel like
no, you're right.
they're just farther away and they have to recruit nationally. Marcus Freeman is a great recruiter, but still, I thought that was impressive.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely a testament to Marcus Freeman. I'd love to go back personally and see the years that Notre Dame was still competing with Brian Kelly and what that number looked like. But it does, Marcus Freeman right now, when you look at the recruiting rankings for next year, I think they said it's second or third right now, but he has a ton of 4-star, and that just was something that didn't really happen before. We had a lot of 3 stars, and then some 4 stars would trickle in. And so you are seeing things shift a little bit. And so, but yeah, credit to Marcus Freeman, because that is one thing too that he did say he wanted to go in and not with the quarterback in general. He was like, the last 2 seasons we went and we hit the portal for a quarterback. I don't want to do that. I want to build from within the program. And he thinks that Notre Dame's at a spot now where they can do that. And right now it looks like it's working. We will see how that obviously plays on the field.
Well, listen, if you go to a Catholic high school anywhere in the country and you're playing football, you want to go to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I mean, they're at least in the running because your parents are like, you got to go to Notre Dame, keep the faith, that kind of stuff. But it's true, and there's a ton of those schools all over the country,
all over, and like in that area too, Tommy. Cole Komet went to a Catholic
St. Vitus
high
went to
school.
my brother's high school, yeah.
And so there's a lot of in Illinois, Indiana, a lot of Catholic high schools in Ohio that they do recruit from those areas pretty strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now everyone's singing the song "Keep the Faith." All right, so I have an answer for you, Taylor.
Yes.
At least for his last year, Brian Kelly's last year at Notre Dame, the blue chip ratio for Notre Dame was 55%. So in
55 to 73% in 3 years,
55% to
Or
73%. Yeah. So that's an impressive thing. All right, the next teams come in it's Oklahoma coming in at 70%, followed by, and again, these are the teams that can win the college football national championship according to the blue chip ratio. Penn State is at 68%. Miami is tied with Florida and Auburn, 64%. Auburn's the one that surprises me there. Not that Hugh Freeze isn't a good recruiter, but they haven't had much success as of late, when certainly Miami under Mario Cristobal has had a great trajectory.
Well, and the Auburn, when I went through the category, the rankings, Auburn landed on several of those, the positional rankings in college football, top 10 right now. So he's doing something right there, but he's also on the hot seat, so he's probably working a little extra hard.
I saw them in a thing, the biggest spenders, and they were number 10, Auburn.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was 4 SEC teams in there. A lot of the schools. Notre Dame wasn't in there.
Surprised it wasn't all SEC teams with Ohio State mixed in. All right, so to give you the final teams on here, Michigan 57%. USC 57%, and then Clemson 55%. Tennessee and Florida State tied at 54%. So basically, the bottom half, you can still win a national championship as long as you're over 50%. You shouldn't focus on just that number because, like I said, other teams have won in the past. Clemson, Florida State, Michigan in the lower 50s. You just want to be on this list, because a team. Right. That has won, the team that has won
Since
the last
2011.
Yeah, the last 14 years.
Is above that 50% mark.
Is above,
I will say, so
if you're not on here, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Texas Tech.
Sorry. Have fun this college football season. Just a quick look at last year. Ohio State was number 1 on that blue chip ratio with 90% last year. Alabama was 2 with 88% and obviously did not make the college football playoff. And then behind that was Georgia at 80, Texas A&M at 79, Oregon at 76, Oklahoma 73, Texas 72, LSU 70, Notre Dame 67, and Clemson 64.
Yeah. The stars are funny. I mean, look, a lot of times when you're a 5 and 4 star, you're just so much more athletically gifted or bigger or stronger or faster. And then you get to college and then you're kind of even out a little bit. Now a lot of guys continue to play at high levels. There's no question about that. But a lot of get equalized out because in high school it was easy. If you're like the biggest kid in high school that can move a little bit, you're dominating on the offensive line. Nobody's going to beat you. Yeah. So then everyone's like, wow, look at this 6'7" kid, 300 pounds that can move. And he didn't give up any sacks in 3 years. Well, he's just better than everybody at the high school level. You know what I mean? And so it's funny. I wonder how many, if you had to reclassify.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what would they be after a year or 2 or 3 in college? You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe they're the same. They could be.
And that's why Tommy, we talk so much about the importance of Florida recruiting, Texas recruiting, Louisiana recruiting. There's such a hotbed of, if you look at South Florida and the amount of players that come out of South Florida and the amount of schools that are in this tight-knit area, so all these players are playing each other. So all these 4 or 5-star recruits, you look at the teams they're playing and they're playing 4 or 5-star recruits. And so I do think that transfers so well. That's why it's important to recruit the state. And that's one of the biggest we've seen wins when we see successful Florida State, Miami teams. They have those Florida recruits.
I'll take some 3 stars that are just tough as nails. You know what I mean? I'll take them all day long because I know what those stars mean. And sometimes, like I said, they come true, and sometimes they don't. My roommate in college, one of my really good friends, Kirk Ruoff, went to St. Thomas Aquinas, and he walked in my dorm room, and he was 6'7", 290 as a high school kid. And I was like, he covered up the whole door, and I'd never seen a guy that big before in my life. I was like, oh my gosh, like I got to go against you. And he's like, yeah, I'm an offensive lineman. Well, his heart was never really into it. So he never played.
Yeah.
He was always on the team, and we loved him, and he was a great guy, and he's a great friend of all of it. Very successful entrepreneur, restaurateur. He owns Turning Point restaurants all up and down the East Coast. He's doing great. But he was 4 or 5 star because in college
People saw him
you
and they
couldn't
were
get
like,
around
"Whoa."
him. I mean, you couldn't do anything against that kid, because he was somewhat of an athlete.
Yeah.
And he was big, but his heart wasn't there.
Yeah.
And, I think not everybody's like that, of course, but you got to factor some of that
There's
in
other
when
stuff
you throw
involved.
those stars out there.
Yeah, and
not
I was-
us, but
Yeah.
in general.
The people who create those.
Yeah. And I was talking to somebody who is like a high school recruiter up in the Midwest area, and they were saying now, because with NIL and paying players and paying people feel like they can just pay anything. So some people are paying to get, hey, I'll give you money if you say he's a 4-star. Is what I've heard is happening in certain areas of the country,
you
too.
You never know.
Well, Bud Elliott needs to, the one who created the blue chip ratio, he needs to find out about that and then make sure that he does not include them as 4 and 5 stars. So Notre Dame was 73% without including transfers. If you include transfers, Notre Dame falls to 64%.
Okay.
And Florida was at 64% and falls to 57%.
Okay, so does that, and this is generalized,
Sure.
but does that mean the Porter players are not as good as your players?
It means the portal players weren't obviously
4 or
rated as
5
highly
stars
out
usually.
of high school, but they made, to your point, maybe
be better than they were coming out of high school.
Okay.
Maybe,
That's
and that
actually a
may be
good
the situation a lot is when we're looking at that, because you're saying, okay, they were a 2-3 star coming into college, but now they've had a good season in college football, and Notre Dame's like, transfer to us, you were a 3-star, but now if you reclassified, would you be a 4-star?
So here's the perfect example that I just thought of. Not to give myself credit.
Everybody, I just thought of this.
Look at me. That's not at all what I meant. What I meant was I just quickly Googled Ricky Pearsall high school rating because he's the first one I thought of as far as Florida transfer portal players who were really good.
Yeah.
So he was a 3-star in high school. Ricky Pearsall is now a great receiver in the or at
NFL.
least a good receiver in the NFL. So that goes to show you it's not always right and accurate, but they can end up playing a lot better. And so the transfer portal players almost need their own ranking.
Yeah.
But then you'd have to, again, reclassify the ones that are in college football.
It's a lot of work for Bud Elliott.
Bud Elliott's like, y'all, I'm already doing this. Once a year.
You see during the NFL games, during the season when they interview players, sometimes the NFL players will say, I didn't have a star coming out of high school, and now you're on an NFL roster. So, it's an interesting concept.
For these 4 and 5, like what sets it apart for you to make that decision, right? Because the schools, chances to win the whole thing, right? Going pro, facilities, what you're getting paid,
the relationship with the person
the
recruiting
coach
you.
and the recruits. I mean, that's really competitive.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You really got to have something. Now, granted, you could just give them more money and they'll come. You could do it that way, but you probably want a little bit of, they want to come because they love the coach and they love the relationship. Now they love the school. You know what I mean? But
if you're a wide receiver, to me, you're going to an LSU or an Alabama because of what they've done in the NFL.
Yeah, for sure.
LSU also once upon a time was DBU. So if you're a DB, you're probably that's your first.
Ohio State,
Sure. You want to look at how they produce in the NFL and the success of winning a national championship for some kids, for some student athletes. I don't know that that's number one.
Yeah.
I think it's getting to a second contract in the NFL. And what is my best route to get me there? All right. Taylor Bell has a tangent on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You're locked into a Lee and Kate's Glass Friday on Helmets and Heels. Feel the heat on the street.
Summertime is finally here.
Feel the energy of the First Coast. 1010XL.
Sweet summertime.
Jacksonville's summer station.
Sun's out, savings out. That's what the summer is all about. Hurry to Kia on Atlantic this month to maximize your fun in the sun. Make no payments for 90 days and drive new Kias starting under $20K. Plus, it's easy to shop for new Kias when you know we have financing rates starting at 0. Take advantage of the sunniest time of year and drive away with the sunshine savings from here. Online at KiaOnAtlantic.com. Kia on Atlantic, your Kia Coastal Connection. For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione Law.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckduckac.com.
Who says there's no free lunch? Join me, Hicken, and Jaguar and Gator legend Fred Taylor for free food and football talk Friday, August 8th at Alhambra Theater. When you hear this...
Bye-bye! Brock Marionville chasing a 90-yard run.
Be caller 28 to win a pair of tickets to a free lunch with Fred. Doors open at 11. Jags talk, Gators talk, football talk, including a 1-hour Q&A with Freddie T. And we're buying you lunch. Stay tuned for this sound.
Bye-bye! Brock Marionville chasing a 90-yard run.
To win your tickets, courtesy of Jeep's Hyundai and Genesis of Jacksonville on Atlantic.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
Share your voice anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Are you serious? Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
If you can't call or email, text us 641-1010.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to american-electrical.com and see how they can help you.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, why is it that when you look at how long a store has been in business, that it always seems to be the stores like Underwood's that sell fine quality that have been around the longest?
Frank, that's a question that really doesn't get asked a lot, but it should be. There are a number of reasons, but probably the biggest is because of the endorsements our longtime customers and their pieces of jewelry have given us through the years. You see, when you sell really fine quality jewelry, that piece will last longer and always stay beautiful. It might stay in the same family for generations, and through those years of wear, a lot of compliments will be made and a lot of people will be told where the piece of jewelry came from. You see, at a store like Underwood's, it's our stated goal to be the best jeweler in the South, not the biggest, so everything we do and carry has to help move us toward that goal. And ultimately, it's the satisfied customers wearing fine quality jewelry that have kept Underwood's in Jacksonville since 1928.
Underwood's in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Yo, E.T. here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and non-stop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, good food, and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your cool at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast. But Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Got a cracked windshield? Not only is it dangerous, but did you know it's also illegal? Call Baker Glass. Matt and his crew use the best auto glass in the market, and they accept most insurance. Plus, all new windshields come with a full warranty. From cars, to trucks, to RVs, you can count on Baker Glass to be fast and friendly. Just check out their Google reviews. Come see us at the shop on Casta Avenue, where we can come to you at your home or business.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
With a little Shania Twain. Just a reminder, she comes to Daly's Place Tuesday, July 29th and Wednesday, July 30th. At Daly's Place, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic show. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, go grab those online and come hang out with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to be there different nights, but
maybe we can figure something out.
Figure out to be there at the same time. Tommy and I will be taking shots. So,
which is why I need to rearrange my schedule for sure. All right, Taylor Dahl right now has a tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
So this one's a random one, but I saw a video and I was intrigued by it. Have you guys heard of stick guys?
No.
What is it in relation to?
Hockey.
Okay, no.
Okay. So there's something that the NHL has called stick guys, who they're part of the equipment manager group. I've never seen this. I've been to a lot of NHL games, several NHL games in Tampa and Chicago. I've been to one in Carolina. So I've been to several, and I've never noticed this, probably because I'm actually watching the hockey game. But they're a part of that equipment managing team. But there's one specific person who is assigned to be the stick guy during the games. And so this person's job is obviously during the game. It's fast paced. If you've been to a hockey game or watched it on a TV.
Oh, yeah.
The sticks will break, and very quickly, next thing you know, they have another stick, and you're just kind of like, wow, it's magic. Like, their stick is back. So there's a guy, though, and I saw a video, and it's actually pretty incredible that his job for the entire game is to just manage these sticks. So there's the wall of sticks. They have them hung up there. You've probably seen that at games. And so each player has multiple ones, but obviously every player's size stick is, depending on their height, is different. So they have their certain sticks, everything, and ones they like to play with, like bats, similar. People like their certain bats. Yeah. But they have, so there's a line of, I don't even know how many, probably like 40 different sticks. And every time a player has the puck, this guy, and they showed one specifically, Toronto Maple Leafs game. This guy, I guess, has gone like viral because he's just like so intense with his job, his stick guy job. And so he has his fingers on the stick of the player, and every time the puck will transfer to whoever player, he moves his hand. And so the whole game, he's like, his hand is moving the entire game to show like which player. And so that way, if the stick breaks or flies away or whatever the case may be, he has that ready. But if you've never seen it, go Google this, because the video is wild, and you know how fast-paced hockey is. It is so quick. And so to watch him do this, and obviously the memorization too of which player's stick is which one, you don't want to screw that up because you hand the player
like Rain Man.
Does he skate?
He kind of just hands it over.
Okay.
So like they'll usually come back. A lot of times they leave the ice, but if you can't always leave the ice. And sometimes you'll see a player without their stick for. You have to obviously, if the whistle's not blowing, you can't really just go over to the side. Yep. Yeah, you got to finish your shift a lot of times, and so you'll see guys without their stick for a while. But I guess if they're close enough, they can go grab it. But it's really wild to watch. And I was like, how have I never noticed that someone is sitting there like so intensely?
Yeah.
Knowing,
are they all like
now
that?
I'm gonna watch
and that's why I don't know. And so that's why I saw the video, and I remember I Googled, and I was like, "Are the stick guy like? Is this normal?" And
is this a fraternity?
Yeah. Is this is Toronto Maple Leafs head of the game and stick guys? But it seems like everybody does have one, but this guy has just gone viral because he's so intense with like how he is, like he's very like animated when he's moving his hands from the stick to stick.
I wonder if he plays the piano. I feel like that skill set would translate.
He's got something going on for sure.
If you haven't watched the quarterback Netflix documentary, Joe Burrow has a piano in his home.
Oh yeah. And so
nice.
that.
Yeah, he's not necessarily good. I'm not saying that, but he's obviously not super focused on learning to play the piano at the same time. By the way,
but he does have other hobbies, guys. It's okay.
Thank you for saying that. Some guy that does not have other hobbies, Scotty Scheffler is now 10 under, solo atop the leaderboard. Matthew Fitzpatrick still at 9 under, but. Yeah, that's impressive. Speaking of a guy who's
It's like
good
their
with
caddy.
his...
It's like the hockey guy's caddy is the stick guy.
Sure, yeah. I was going to say, speaking of a guy who's good with his golf stick, that would be Scotty Scheffler.
How about that, though? Like, hey, what do you do for a living? I'm a stick guy for hockey. You what? Yeah,
Really?
make sure the sticks are good.
Yeah, just go.
what
So
a
his name's
job.
Bobby Hastings for the Toronto
cool
Maple
job.
Leafs is
Okay.
the most, I guess, popular one. It says his equipment manager often mentions as a prime example of a highly effective stick guy. So there's good stick guys and bad stick guys out there in the NHL.
That's like that Cool Jobs used to have that show. Like, that'd be a cool
yeah.
job. Like, it's an obscure, cool job nobody knows about. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, now we're all going to watch that, Taylor. Thanks for...
You're welcome.
There goes our ADD on the game. Where's the stick guy? Where's the stick guy? Stick guy! Where's...
There he is. Get it. Go.
Well, if you have not watched Quarterback on Netflix, you can watch that this weekend. You can watch the new episode of The Hunt.
Yeah.
Yes.
That dropped last night, Jaguars.com, and of course, Jaguars YouTube. And then you can also watch
Stick
the
Guy,
Stick
Bobby
Guy.
Hastings.
And oh, by the way, you can watch the Open Championship there in Royal Port Russia. It's going to be a good one.
It is.
For sure. By the way, Shane Lowry, who won this a couple of years ago, he ended up, 2 under. So he's not going to win this year, most likely. And like I said, Scheffler now 10 under, and he's almost done with his round, so we'll certainly keep tracking it. All right, we've got lunch to give away.
We do. Free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 7 gets free lunch to Chick-fil-A today.
Caller number 7, not caller number 28.
Not
gets
28.
the free lunch. That's if you're trying to win lunch with Fred Taylor. All right, on the other side, we've got the cool down and today's Terminix Pest of the Day. But of course, coming up right now is an Open Championship update on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Lee and Kate's Glass Friday. Guaranteed greatness since 1926. This Open Championship update on 1010XL is teed up by TopDressing.com and 904 Gutters with a Z.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 153rd British Open. With NFL Plus, keep the NFL in reach. Sign up today at plus.nfl.com/radio. Terms and conditions apply. Golden hour at Royal Port Rush and a golden finish to the second round by world number 1 Scotty Scheffler. First, a birdie at Calamity Corner, the long par 3 16th. He's the only player in the field to birdie that hole twice this week. Then a great escape at 17. He drove it way right, but Scheffler still stuffed his approach to 17 feet. He rolled in another birdie there. So Scheffler alone in the lead at 10 under par as he plays the last. Matt Fitzpatrick alone in second at 9 under after a 5 under 66 that featured 8 birdies. Brian Harman, the British Open champion 2 years ago, and Hao Tong Lee are 8 under, 2 back, keeping an eye on the cut line projected at +1. Bryson DeChambeau is in at +1 after a 6 under 65. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One.
The golf industry needs all kind of talented people. It's full of job opportunities and career paths, both on and off the course. With golf, the possibilities are endless. Explore careers and open job opportunities today at makegolfyourcareer.org.
Furnished by the PGA.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. It's the little things like a peach milkshake on a warm day that makes summer sweet. And now you can head to your local Chick-fil-A and enjoy a favorite summer treat again. Hand-spun the old-fashioned way, their refreshing milkshake features Chick-fil-A ice cream and peaches. It's the perfect cold treat to enjoy outside on a warm day or with friends and family after dinner. And it's here for just a limited time, so swing by your local Chick-fil-A and treat yourself today.
Francie here from my bank, South State Bank. South State has been committed to delivering world-class customer service that businesses like yours and mine can count on. From personalized support to cutting-edge banking solutions, South State Bank has blended the trusted traditions we all value with the innovation you need for tomorrow. Whether you're managing cash flow or investing in growth, South State Bank is here to help you move forward. Visit southstatebank.com or visit your local branch today. That's South State, member FDIC.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Denny Thompson here. Look, don't get left in the dark. We're all trying to reason with hurricane season, so at least be prepared. For top-of-the-line generators in Jacksonville, I turn to Tyson. Licensed pros at Tyson deliver reliable, whole-home standby generators and provide fast repair service. They even do custom installations for local businesses, so don't wait. Ensure seamless installation and peace of mind. Call Tyson now for a free estimate on generator services, TysonInc.com.
As a law enforcement officer, safe roads are one of my top priorities, ensuring everyone can get home safely each day. Some never will, due to aggressive driving, being distracted, or speeding on the roads. And too often, that results in the toughest part of my job and the longest walk in my life. I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
9 people will be killed on our Florida roadways today. Don't let it be you or a person you love. Buckle up every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
It's Christmas in July at Beard's Diamonds. Why not celebrate your anniversary with a stunning eternity band or a pair of diamond stud earrings? Buy now and get up to 40% off. Don't miss this annual event. Best prices of the year store-wide. And remember, Beard's Diamonds is your local jeweler with over 4 decades of delivering the best value, the best quality, and the best overall experience. With no commission salespeople, no corporate sales quotas, and no nonsense pricing. Beard's Diamonds at the shops at Town Center. Shop local. Shop Beards.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 18, 1999, John Vanderbilt famously triple bogeyed the last hole of the British Open, causing him to go to a playoff where he would eventually lose to Paul Lord.
Lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
I'm going to cool down with the fact that on Sunday, Dad Bods is playing at Pete's Bar starting at 4 p.m. in Neptune Beach, and it's called a show outing is what that is.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. First time ever playing out on the deck. at Pete's, and been going to Pete's for 30 years now.
Back when it was
Even when I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, back when it was cash only.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It was always packed, though.
Yeah.
And it's always been packed. But, yeah, we're going to rock it out. 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and right there on the outside deck. It's going to be awesome.
4
Sunday
to
afternoon.
7.
I'm very
Perfect.
excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day. And look, I think for people who've never been, there's not necessarily great parking like right there. So I do recommend either ride share or riding your bike if you live close enough, things like that. Don't try to come to Neptune Beach, Atlantic Beach area and be like, oh, I can find parking easily. It's not that easy because people are already at the beach and things like that. So just giving you a fair warning. You may want to, like I said, ride share. Taylor, you'll probably ride share.
Yeah, I Uber everywhere on the weekend. I hate driving.
Yeah, that's smart.
I park my car on a Friday and don't touch it until Monday morning most times.
Yeah,
That's a good way to be, for sure.
Absolutely. And certainly we can cool down with the fact that the Cubs are still leading the Red Sox 3-1.
Yeah, they got off to
Red
a big
Sox
start.
on a 10-game win streak, so hopefully we can knock that away.
It was 3-0 in the first inning. Now it's what?
Yeah, 3-1.
3-1 on the top of the fifth.
They've got 2 outs, runner on first. Yeah, I'm glad baseball's back. It was only like 5 days, and it felt so long.
Yeah.
Literally, we watched the ESPYs, and I was like, this is my connection to sports right now, but this is not what I want as far as sports.
Listen, I know the new sale for Tampa Bay, they're saying in Tampa, but let's just say hypothetically, could Jacksonville, and I mean today, would they support a Major League Baseball team here in town?
So the things that I've always heard are, in order to support a Major League Baseball team, you have to have a certain number of Fortune 500 companies because you need those suites and those corporate entities to be purchased to sustain. Because obviously there aren't going to be enough season ticket holders for all 162 games. So you have to have those suite areas sold in order to make enough revenue for the year. Jacksonville, last I looked, which was maybe a month or so ago, has 4 of those Fortune 500 companies. I think you would need a few more than that. But as far as like the people like Taylor and I, just baseball fans, we would 100% support it.
Yeah.
And that I was reading something because last time you mentioned that, it got me curious of what that looks like in other cities, because I do feel like there's baseball teams in obviously not huge, massive cities. Yep. And one of the places they've been pushing a lot is Nashville.
Yes.
And Nashville has the same amount of Fortune 500. From what I read, one of the articles I read is they are I read 4, but maybe they've recently got another one.
The expansion team.
And that's what there was rumors that the White Sox might move there for a little while, and then obviously once they talk about expansion, that's the place that a lot of people are pushing. So
maybe through tourism, Nashville could support it. And I know people, Tom, at one point in time said Jacksonville and Nashville were kind of on the same trajectory as far as the same size cities. And then Nashville, someone or a group of people came up with, let's do one thing really well. And that is, let's make Broadway the capital of country music. And they somehow, some way were able to transform themselves from a city that maybe a ton of people were visited as a tourist to now something
that's insane.
Something that people
Tuesday night on a random month, it's packed.
People go for bachelor parties. We've seen the draft be held there. People go, obviously, just like you said, on a Tuesday night. People that live just outside of Nashville go into Nashville all the time. So, like, how does Jacksonville, start to inch closer towards that?
Well, that's the plan eventually, right? To have those kind of things, so that you bring Major League Baseball here. It's also a real estate deal, right? Because you're going to develop around it. You have to for all those people to be able to go somewhere after the game. And be able to enjoy all of that. So it would be down the road. I mean, look, we got to handle the football stadium first. We got a ways to go on that.
We're only 3 years away from that being done. I feel like we talked about for years upon years how it needed to be renovated, and we would go to the State of the Jaguars address, and Mark Lamping would show us the slide that had the pyramid, and it's actually an inverted pyramid. So at the top of the pyramid, you've had all the teams that had recently renovated their stadiums, and then as you got lower, the fewer teams that had not renovated, and at the very bottom it was Jacksonville and Buffalo.
New stadiums then renovations, right?
Yeah, good call. And so at the very bottom it was only Jacksonville and Buffalo as the two teams that had not renovated their stadiums and or didn't have newer stadiums. And now we know the Bills are getting a new stadium and the Jaguars are renovating the stadium. So it feels like we've talked about it for literally so long that now 2028 does not seem that far to me.
Yeah, it will. I mean, I think because it feels like it's been so long getting to this point for some people, it does. But it'll be here before we know it. Next thing you know, we'll be like, wow, we're going into a season with a brand new stadium. And it'll be interesting what happens during these years between, because we're talking about, we're hoping that this roster is much improved and Trevor breaks out and Liam Cohen's here and James Gladstone's here to rescue. Like, it would be the most Jags thing to, when they go to the Super Bowl of the year, we're not playing Jags.
We'll take it.
I know. I'll take
it's not like the Super Bowl
I'm
is
just
gonna
saying
be
that would
here
be the
anyway.
most Jaguars, but you wouldn't get to watch all of those games in Jacksonville.
I see what
It
you're
would
saying.
be away. Everyone, and I mean, once you start winning, people are going to travel down there. So if that happens, then whatever city, Gainesville or Orlando, this happens, are probably going to be ecstatic because there's going to be more people traveling down to their city to support the Jaguars if you're winning those games. But I always think about that. I'm like, it'd be the most Jags thing to happen. It's just like,
I think what's brilliant about the new stadium is only 62,000 seats, because you're going to get 55 regardless of 52, and not look at it like I got 20,000 more seats to fill. You know what I mean? It's a lot less. So that was a smart move. It's our market. We got the diehards, but that other 15, 20,000, man, you got to earn that ticket. There's they're not going to sit there in the sun watching something they don't like watching. It's just it's been notorious for 30 years.
Get some shade.
Yeah, I'm envisioning the stadium of the future and the super modern design, and I'm picturing Trevor Lawrence throw a deep pass to Brian Thomas Jr. and the 62,000 on their feet erupting.
Yep.
That's an exciting vision that I have as we're having this
Manifest
conversation.
it.
I am.
Manifest
Put it in
that
the
stuff.
universe.
Yeah, I mean, and Travis Hunter picks, I was going to say Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones, Cam Ward, or CJ Stroud. He picks one of them off. That would be a whole different conversation
And
that
then
we could
next
have.
play has a touchdown.
Yeah, who's the quarterback in Indianapolis in 2028? Who's the quarterback? Most likely Cam Ward in Nashville in 2028. That would be a different conversation. And some people would want us to have that conversation about Jacksonville, but we're not going to.
Yeah, I want to, because we mentioned earlier that top 50, the 50 days away, and they had the 50 under the radar players. There was a few names that I wanted to mention that they mentioned on this list that I wanted to get your thoughts on, because we talked a little bit about this the other day too. So the quarterbacks they have on this list, they have Daniel Jones, obviously with the Colts. So as we're talking about the AFC South and what those quarterbacks will look like in 5 years, we will see. But so they say while the Colts would love to see Anthony Richardson perform well enough this season to win the job, Jones was actually healthy for minicamp, giving him the lead on the job. Jones has struggled over the past 2 seasons, ranking 32nd or worse among 34 qualified quarterbacks in yards per attempt, touchdown to interception rate, and sack rate, and he's played in just 16 of possible 34 games over that span. But the Colts nearly made the playoffs last year with Richardson and Flacco combination, and 2 years ago with Minshew. We'll likely see a decent amount of Jones this year. So are you expecting a lot of Daniel Jones this year? Well, let's say injury's not there. Let's just say if Anthony Richardson stays healthy, is Daniel Jones still playing a lot of this year?
If Anthony's healthy, no. I think you got to play your young guy.
Yeah.
But if he's not playing well, that's why he's there. Just like you had Flacco before, because you don't really trust him yet, Anthony Richardson. You don't trust that he can stay healthy. He's definitely, he's impressive when he's healthy, especially when he takes off and runs. Danny can run too. I mean, he's interesting, but I would think that they're going to try to do everything to make Anthony Richardson that starting quarterback. But if he can't or doesn't, that's why you have a guy like Daniel Jones.
Yeah. And my philosophy is that we've seen Daniel Jones's ceiling, and that's what we haven't seen with Anthony Richardson. He's got so much potential. Yeah. And if he is able to stay healthy this year and the team is decent around him, then they want to know if they have him for the future, right? So the main thing, like if you listen to Denny Thompson, he'll say he just needs more reps because he hasn't had enough game reps. And obviously that's a health issue. But if they can build to the future with Anthony Richardson, that's what they want to do. Like I said yesterday, like Shane Ballard's job is on the line as the GM. He would absolutely be just the happiest person on the planet if all of a sudden Anthony Richardson comes out, throws for 3,500 yards with 25 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, no fumbles, and is able to also run the football. Like that's when he could say to the fan base, see, we had the right idea all along. Yeah. I know you guys had to, wait and be patient, but at the end of the day, like he had those explosive, or he is an explosive player, and he had that skill set, those tools.
I think when you see him throw the football, you're like, wow.
He has a cannon.
And he's big.
Yeah, we've seen it in
the stands.
Yeah, we've seen him throw the ball in the stands. Before you continue, Taylor, I want to mention today's Terminix Pest of the Day is always brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. That's MINIX.com. They take care of Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, all of your favorite event venues around town. They do such a great job. Also at Our House, they came out this week, sprayed for mosquitoes, took care of any of the pest issues that we have, wasps, ants, cockroaches, you name it. Terminix is there to take care of it. The Astronomer CEO, Andy Byron, is the pest of the day. You have to have been hiding under a rock if you haven't heard the story. He was at a Coldplay concert with the Chief Human Resources Officer, Kristen Cabot, when they had the kiss cam going on and a fan ended up just happened to videotape it or video with her phone. Of course, she posted that. It went viral, and now the whole world knows that they were most likely having an affair.
Yeah, definitely
since
looked
then,
like it.
his wife has deleted her social media. I feel for the families that are involved. I'm not making light of that, but you can't go to a concert with the HR person that's your girlfriend apparently and not expect someone to find out.
Something,
like it may not have gone viral.
That's
but
what I'm saying.
someone else
Even
could
somebody
see
seeing you.
Correct.
That's insane. Yeah.
Not so smart.
Very not smart. And I guess his statement, did you read his statement? It's almost like blaming Coldplay.
Can't we just enjoy our time with sneaking around on our spouses? What's wrong with you? Why would you call us out on that?
Very weird approach there. My
I
God.
will say Coldplay, maybe people didn't realize that they were touring right now. Well, now everyone knows.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm sure their
Coldplay-
streams went up yesterday.
For sure. Yeah, the lead singer certainly leaned into it. Okay, back to the players.
Yeah, another one interesting that we've talked a lot about on Helmets and Heels, and Tommy, we're going to continue this offseason because it's one of the more fascinating quarterback storylines, but the Browns in general. And Tommy, we had somebody on a couple weeks ago, Mary Kay Cabot, she covers the Browns.
Yeah, I know her.
She told us that she expects all 4 quarterbacks to be on the roster week 1. She says that Flacco and Pickett, she thinks the job's between those 2 guys. And I think she actually said she thinks Kenny Pickett may be starting.
Wow.
And then they will have, and I said, okay, so are one of these guys on the practice squad? And she said, no, I think they'll have all 4 guys active on their roster.
Wow.
So that's very interesting. But in this article, they list Joe Flacco, and they say Shedeur Sanders got the nod in the 100 most important players, but it's Flacco who won NFL Comeback Player of the Year in 2023 with Cleveland, and is good to be a good bet to start in week 1 over Sanders, Pickett, or Gabriel. Even if or when Flacco gives it away to another quarterback, it'll be important for Flacco to provide competent play, something Cleveland did not have last year at all. In a transition year, Cleveland would love to evaluate all parts of its roster, something that was nearly impossible for Watson, Jameis, and Dorian Thompson.
Yeah, listen, I'm going Flacco, and then let's see what happens with the young guys, you know. Sanders is interesting. The kid from Oregon, Gabriel. Yeah, he's I don't know, I never was that impressed with him at Oregon. He's okay, you know. But I think he looks pretty good for them from what I've seen online and at least in the offseason to this. But Joe Flacco can still play.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw he can bring up bad memories, but he worked us pretty good. And he can do that to you. You know, he's good in the pocket.
That's a long list of quarterbacks.
I know. I don't know how you keep all 4.
I know. That's what it was wild when she said
nuts.
We can never make these predictions, and Mary Kay would certainly echo this statement, until we get through training camp. Because if there are injuries across the board, whether it's to these quarterbacks or elsewhere
somewhere
in the league,
else,
then certainly
if people are calling the Browns saying, hey, we might want one of your young quarterbacks, they'll probably listen.
I would think you deal them. You have 2 of them that you drafted.
Yeah, for sure.
But I totally understand her point, and that is, and she's very connected within the Browns organization, so I certainly believe her. As we sit here today on July 18th, they don't know who their quarterback is.
Yeah.
That to me is the bottom line.
Right.
And it is a true competition.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is if you think about it, had the Browns stayed with their 2nd overall pick instead of trading with the Jaguars, they would have a 4-way quarterback competition, or at least 2-way, and Travis Hunter playing both sides of the ball as far as storylines in Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we don't know if they would have taken Gabriel and Shedeur if they took Travis at the top. It might have adjusted some of the things they did, but looking at what it is now, they'd have a lot of storylines coming out of the Cleveland camp.
Yeah, yeah. Well, again, you have Flacco there for a reason. I mean, he's not going to, carry and light you up, but at least he can make competent throws from the pocket and not make too many mistakes. But eventually you're going to have to let the young kids play.
Because you have to see what you have at some
absolutely.
point. Yeah.
Speaking of young kids, let's say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
Tom, do you want to prepare for the show on Sunday by singing Sharp Dressed Man to Hayes Carlisle?
There you go.
What a song.
We'll have to learn that one.
Yeah, what a song. What a band.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
no doubt. ZZ Top, phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Get some tush, baby.
That's right.
That's the best kind, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hayes, did you want to come out with us Sunday? We're going to see
that's what I was
Tommy
gonna
play
say.
at
Right.
Pete's on
Love to.
Sunday. Let's go.
Absolutely.
4:00 afternoon.
I can have a libation or 7
or 10. Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
good.
I'll join
I mentioned
you.
rideshare earlier. That's when you need
absolutely.
it.
All right, cool. This is going to be fun.
Hayes, training camp begins on Wednesday. Your sunscreen's ready. Your hat's
Yes, although
ready.
it's nice early in the morning with this beautiful new facility.
That is true.
I don't even need the hat.
That's right.
I mean, there's shade out there. I mean, I'm pampered. I will admit it, but I gotta put the sunscreen on anyway because I still got to walk to the car at some point. And it only takes 30 seconds.
Happens
before,
very quickly.
My skin is starting to boil there, Tommy. So
that's right.
All right,
I'll have the sunscreen on for sure.
Perfect. You can't have Trevor Lawrence. You can't have Travis Hunter. A couple of storylines you'll be watching on Wednesday.
I think we're not going to find out Wednesday, but I want to know how tough this team is. And, we're not going to find that out until they've had the pads on for, a couple weeks. And obviously we won't get the final verdict until September when they're playing. But this has been a finesse outfit for way too long.
Yep.
And so, with obviously the influence of Tony Baselli, and I think being physical is important to Liam Cohen. He's an offensive mind, but I don't think that means that it's a finesse offense. And so to me, it's like they've got to start forming that identity of we are going to win street fights.
Yep.
And training camp is where you lay that foundation. So more that than any sort of, individual play. I mean, I'm excited about Mason Smith. I'm in terms of the younger guys, I'm excited about Ransaw. I'm the starting offensive line, Wyatt Milam, I expect to have a big camp and win that job. So there'll be a ton of individual fun storylines to follow, but none of it will matter if they can't block and they can't tackle.
That's right. Yeah, we've been waiting for that for a few years now. We've
it's
talked about that
time.
many times. I think they're going to get it. I think it's the change is coming.
Optimistic.
I think so.
Yeah.
The Hunt Iron Games did not show you how tough we are going to be this season.
Well, it was good. I mean, I like the idea of it. I will say this. I've covered the team since 2013, and there has never been a buzz about the strength and conditioning program. Never. To the point where, and this is the only NFL team I've ever covered, so I always just sort of assumed that's how it is around the league because it's voluntary. And, most of these guys are obviously in close to peak shape to get to this level. But I am interested in seeing, does Ciano take this to a level that we've never really seen here? And I thought that was a good start. So I really enjoyed the Hunt. We'll certainly talk about that coming up on the Frangie Show and certainly reflect on SEC Media Days. Frank will replay his interviews with Billy Napier, Kirby Smart. Pete Prisco joins us at 5 to talk NFL. So lots of fun stuff coming up on the Frangie Show.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Hayes.
Thank you.
We'll see you on Sunday.
Yes.
All right, everybody have a great weekend. That'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, for Tom McManus, for RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you on Monday, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show is next.